All right. If you are the owner of a small business, a home services, or an agency with 1 to 5 sales reps, you're in the right spot. Now, if your business is primarily word of mouth and you're not investing anything in marketing, this may not necessarily be the right solution for you. If you're investing some dollars in marketing, you're focused on growing, you're maybe the owner who's primarily driving sales within the organization, you don't have a sales manager in place, this is definitely something you should stick around for. So, my background here, I've spent the last 15 years, almost 20 years now, selling to contractors, working with contractors, helping them grow their online presence through a marketing agency that I built from under $1 million to 16 million. I was their third employee, their first sales hire, and I left that organization when it was 150 employees and 16 plus sales reps. I then went on to service and build out 2 other coaching and consulting agencies, also focused on the home services space and contractors. So this is what I do. This is what I really focus on. And I'm really excited to share with you guys where I see the big gap in the marketplace. There are lots of different contractors right now and different training companies that are out there that give you word tracks, or they give you, hey, you need to focus on having the right mindset. You need to have the right thought process. And don't get me wrong, mindset is definitely important, but we also need to know what we need to say, and we need to be coached on what we're actually saying. Tonality, the way that we deliver things, has a massive impact on how successful we are. And so I'm so excited to share with you guys the 4 pillars of Pendulum sales training. Now, the whole concept behind this strategy is to not build pressure in your sales approach, but build confidence within you as a salesperson. The more confident you are, the more you're able to convey that confidence to the prospect. So there's 4 things that we do: playbooks and process, dashboards, we utilize AI, and then ongoing coaching. So I'm going to break down what this looks like. The very first thing that we do when I come on board, so it's actually me, I'm the one that's working with you. It's not a junior sales rep. It's not some coach that has very little experience. It's actually me. And so what I'll do is I'll come in, I will assess your existing scripts that you have, take what you have currently, and then what I know works, blend those 2 together so that we don't have any gaps within our process. I'll actually write it out for you, not AI. I'll put it together. I'm going to use some AI to help, but to organize some things, but it'll all be my structure, the philosophy, what I've used to help hundreds of other contractors and help dozens of sales reps, probably hundreds of sales reps at this point, to close significantly higher. So we're going to look at your cold call scripts if we're doing that, door knocking. We're going to look at our follow-up, how we handle leads. We're going to look at our overall sales approach, what happens when we're in the home, and then what does our follow-up process look like. So I'm actually going to write those out for you. Now, they're not going to be word for word scripts. I'm not a big customer says AB, you say XYZ. That's not what it is. It's going to be question-based framework that we're going to use. There'll be some context clues in there. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing that we do is we actually install a dashboard so that way we can track how you and your team are actually performing. And so with this dashboard, it looks at your revenue. How much have we closed a month to date, year to date, quarter to date? How are we towards our ultimate goal that we have for the month? So we'll help you to establish that. How is each sales rep doing as a percentage of their sales goal? What's their close rate? How many appointments have they run? How many leads have they generated? And then what our average deal size? And so all of this helps us uncover and diagnose where the bottleneck is within the business. Because if we're not tracking, we can't understand where do we make improvements within the organization. Now, here's where things get really cool. So the next stage in the process, once we've outlined the scripting, is then we need to make sure that we drive adoption within the organization. And the way that we do that is through using conversational AI. So your sales team will have an app. They'll record their conversations in the home. And that app is then going to explain where that sales rep did a good job. So if you see right here, it's going to show, hey, person did a good job. They established education, knowledge. They identified a direct need. They tied in local proof, and they proposed specific next steps. So it's going to show, okay, these are all the things that they did really well. Then it's going to say, hey, these were the things that they could have done a better job. So despite the fact that in this example, the sales rep booked a next step, they still could have done a better job of trial closing here. So it says, hey, they did get next steps, but they didn't get a firm buy-in. Are you sold? Are you confident in the program? And so it helps us understand the hard skills and the soft skills. Is your team actually following the process? The other thing that this does is it also allows us to see what are the positive things. So it allows us to recap some of the components. What were the things that were discussed? Did we acknowledge the decision maker? What was their pain point? What was their motivation? So it gives a really good summary for the sales rep. So this really helps them in their follow-up and in future communication with the opportunity. And then it also allows us to have a simple scorecard or checklist. Hey, did the rep set the agenda? Did they properly communicate our value? Did they establish a timeline for when the prospect wants to start? So this helps us make sure that the process that you and I just worked on actually gets implemented and adopted. Now, this is great, awesome, phenomenal tool, but who's going to use it? So here's the last step in the pillar is coaching. So I actually work with your sales reps to coach them on a regular basis, utilizing the software, utilizing our dashboard and our KPIs to ultimately help them achieve the results that they're looking for. So think of me as your assistant sales manager for those organizations that need help. We know everybody is stretched thin. Everybody is overwhelmed. And that's why we started Pendulum Sales Training, to help you take some of that burden off of your shoulders and really support you through your growth goals. Now, if you have questions and you want information on how I can help you, just go ahead and shoot me a text message, 202-900-6424, or you can respond in the chat bot below. Look forward to talking with you and helping you grow your business.